When you use solutions like Klaviyo, they charge you a really high fee. Wouldn't you like to have Klaviyo features for a fraction of the price? Hey, what up, decisive marketers? Today we're going to be talking about Mailmin, and Mailmin is a WordPress plugin for you to send out marketing emails via automation or campaigns. And why Mailmin is a lot cheaper is because you only pay for the emails that you use, right? Unlike Klaviyo, they charge you based on contacts and also on the number of emails that you send. So before I dive into Mailmin, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like to see more digital marketing and e-commerce content. So here we go. So here we are in Mailmin, right? So it's a WordPress plugin, but I think the UI is looking decent, right? So the cool thing about Mailmin is that they do have, they do manage your contacts for you. They do send out email campaigns. There is automation. It's also actually sort of like a automation connector, I believe, and on top of that, they do have forms as well. So we're going to jump into the forms first, because that's kind of how you're going to get your subscribers into your your list, right? So over here you could create your own. You could pick one of these pop-up one of these forms as well, right? So we're going to click start from scratch so that we can see what kind of features they have. Okay, alright, so let me just kind of go back and I will pick a template instead. Right, so let me just jump back to forms instead and create a new form. So I'm gonna pick this one right here, first order discount furniture shop. Okay, so right here it's quite a nice looking design right here. So let's see. Right, so I guess it uses some sort of block editor to do this as well. So if you are using the block editor, you're gonna benefit a lot from this, right? So it uses the block editor to create the form right here. Okay, so so you can add a whole bunch of stuff, I guess. Let's see. Right, so these are the blocks that you can use. You can have paragraphs, images, heading, columns, cover, group, paragraph heading. So those are the common ones, right? So we've got email field, first name, last name, mint button. So I guess this is the mint button, and then we've got mint custom field, cover, spacer, and all that, right? So you can use Mailmin for this right here. Okay, so over here we're going to jump into the settings, right? So you can set the confirmation settings. After the form submission, what do you want to do? You want to hide the form, probably. Okay, then because this is a pop-up, right? So what happens is after you click on subscribe now, you close the sort of the form, right? Okay, and then you can see something like, your subscription is confirmed, and then you can show the discount code, right? And then so over here, in terms of the so from what I can see right here, in terms of the display option, right? So right now it's kind of so you can choose always visible, and then let's say someone closes the form, or they submit the form, it will hide the form for an amount of days, right, based on the the cookies that they have on their phone or their desktop browser. Okay, so the form type, you can choose between a default form. Is it a pop-up form? Is it a fly-in form? Is it fixed on top or fixed on bottom, right? So default, I guess this will be like this will be embedded into a you can sort of insert this form, right, embed it. Then pop-up will be, it just kind of appears, right? And then fly in, I guess it's kind of, there's some kind of animation going on. Okay, and then fixed on top will be, it's sort of like the sort of a floating banner on top or at the bottom. Okay, right? And then you have animation, you can choose how it comes in, and then the appearance, so you can choose based on pages, polls or products as well. And then of course you can choose the close button color, and then there is also a background color for the button as well if you want to add that. Okay, so right here, what I can say so far is for the forms, it's not very advanced in terms of the targeting, because there is no options to where it connects with, let's say, the contact list that you have, and then you can set some kind of targeted pop-ups, and there's no exit intent as well. So when you land on the page, this just kind of pop-ups, right? And then it might not be the kind of experience that you want to give to your visitors, right? And then you can, of course, when people fill in the form, you can then automatically add them into a list, or also assign a tag to them. Okay, right here. And I guess pretty much the rest is the same, right? And then we are going to jump into context first, I guess, before we go into campaigns and automation. So I guess the contact is pretty simple. It's just email, first name, last name, and then the subscription status and the list, right? So you can create a new list and the tag itself. So let's check out the list. I don't think this does much, pretty much just kind of add them into a list. That's all. Yep. Okay. So let's just kind of go back in here, so we can check out lists. Okay, and then let's see if we can create some segments as well. So so I guess this will be cool because you can set sections of your users, but of course what I can see right here now is that the conditions are very simple. It's not very advanced yet. It's just sort of like the contact information, right? There's no like purchase, they've made a purchase, or add to cart, things like that, activities happening on your WooCommerce store, right? So that's not possible right now, right here. Okay, and then yep, so tags are pretty straightforward. So I guess segments are very basic right now, forms are very basic right now. So next thing is we're going to jump into I think we go into automations first, right? And let's check this out. Okay, so automations are pretty much your I would say sort of your automated emails. Okay, so you have, let's say, recover filled orders. So I guess this will be your cart recovery emails. So you have the automation right here, right? So you got the trigger, and then you have add to a list, and then once they're in the list, you start to send them emails. Okay, so this will be so then you can add a email sequence. So this is just so what happens is that it looks a little bit complex, but this is more like a workflow. Okay, where you could this is more like a I would say like a automation, sort of like marketing automation, but the email sequence is sort of separated from the automation, right? So for example, if you use maybe Klaviyo, it will do the same thing, except that with the email sequence, it's not created separately. Okay, so you don't insert a email sequence, you insert the email that you're going to be sending out within this particular workflow itself. Okay, so that's kind of how it works. So we can take a look at what kind of actions we can do. We can send the email, which is also pretty much the same thing as well, because I can just send the email right here, right? So and then I can design the email. So I guess it ultimately depends if you want to insert a email workflow so that you can kind of save your time probably, or just use just send an email like this, okay, which personally I would prefer because I can see the entire workflow as it is, right? Okay, so those are the options. You have assign tags, add to list, time delay, remove tags, remove from list, email sequence, and outgoing webhook, right? So you can see that outgoing webhook is here. And in terms of the trigger as well, there is form submitted, added to list, tag assigned, new user registration, user login, and first order install, new order place, order completed, target order status, and order filled. Okay, I don't actually understand what order filled is. I have a feeling that this is more like add to cart and not purchase, but I would have to look that up. Okay, because order filled, I guess it means add to cart but not purchase, because there is another status in WooCommerce which is payment failed, right? Something like that. Yeah. Okay, so that can be a little bit confusing based on the word that they use, the terms that they use. Failed, that could be very confusing. Okay, so next thing is you can set your reply name, your email subject line, your email preview, and then we can set the design of the emails right here. So I think this is where the cool part is, because we all want to know how good the email designer is, right? So I'm going to click on start from scratch first, so we can see all the elements of blocks. I guess they call it blocks here, which is good, but it's not technically what do you call it, uh Gutenberg blocks right here. Okay, but one thing that is cool, so tags, images, buttons, those are straightforward. Your socials as well, dividers, spaces. Let's see how many dividers can we have. Sorry, this is just a straightforward divider. Then that's a spacer. And then okay, so I can see okay, so next is we can have up to 4 columns. So this is very good, because if you use MailChimp, right, you can only have like 2 or 3 columns, which is really weird. And then you have blocks right here, so you can insert products in here, which is what I like, because I can choose, let's say I put in burgers, right, and then you can see it shows the burger product right in here. So this is very cool. I think, because not a lot of I would say, back then, a lot of email marketing plugins don't actually allow you to have, I mean, they don't actually have this product block itself. Okay, so next cool thing is we have posts. So it will pull the posts, right? Which I don't think I have any yet. Okay, so I do have posts right here. Then of course I can choose how many post quantity I want to show, right here. Okay, so I can show my posts as well. So I think that's great. Let's see, what is this? So I think this allows me to maybe put a, let's see, right, let's just kind of add something in here and see what happens. Okay, let's say we choose this background image. Okay, I'm not really sure what wrapper is. Can I? Okay, so this sort of like puts a background image, and then you can put content up on top, right? So that's kind of how it works. And you see, like, they have this generate with AI thing. I'm not really sure what that is, but I guess what happens is that you can connect your Mailman account with OpenAI. Okay, you would then of course need to have access to OpenAI, the API key, right? And then you have to have access to the API key itself. So you would then of course need to sign up and get access to OpenAI, so that you can generate email copies with AI right from within Mailmin itself. Okay, so I think those are very interesting features that they have. So I would think that pretty much, you know, all of the important uh, stuff that an email designer needs are all in here, especially, you know, the product blocks, which I find that a lot of tools just don't have them, right? Which is quite a problem, I would say. And then you can also see how it looks like in mobile view. Let's see if there's maybe some let's see, so this is edit mode. So this is edit mode, this is desktop view, and then you got your mobile view. So let's see if they have I don't think that they have any conditional display option, right? So you can't design the email separately, right, for desktop and mobile, right? So they like Klaviyo is able to do, right? So of course that's you know, Klaviyo is a much developed tool, right? So next we're going to jump into campaigns. Okay, so I guess pretty much we have everything right here to cover. So the next thing is that you can create a regular one-off email campaign. You can send a series of email sequence, and then sequence for automation, right? So I'm not really sure what that is. So regular email campaign, that's very straightforward, so I'm going to skip that. Let's check this one out. Okay, so this is sort of like an email series right here. So I'm going to go back to campaign again, and sequence for automation. It looks like the same thing. Okay, it looks similar to me. Okay, I'll just pick something in here and see what the differences are. Right, so save, next. Save, next. Okay, send. Okay, so I get what this is right now, right? So this is a sequence campaign, and then you have sequence for automation, right? So what happens is, this one, you are sending a sequence of email. So so what happens is, this allows you to send one single email to everyone. This one allows you to send a series of emails to everyone. This one allows you to send out you know, a sequence. You can create a sequence and use it in your automation workflow itself. So that's the difference between these three. And what I find a lot of value in is actually this one right here, email sequence campaign. Because what happens is that you can create this email sequence campaign and send out a series of email, rather than doing it with the regular email campaign. You can do it with the email sequence campaign. So for example, I have a sale going on that's, let's say it's gonna have, it's gonna start on Monday, and it's gonna end on the Sunday, right? The following Sunday itself. So what happens is, I send out the first email on Monday. I would send out a reminder email that the sale is gonna end on Friday, and possibly on the day the sale is going to end, which is on Sunday itself. So I can then use email sequence campaign, which will save me a lot of time, because I would then put everything all together at one go, right, rather than uh, you know, scheduling the email campaign individually itself. Okay, right? So that's how I see you know, the how 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 it works between these few options. I mean, yeah. So we're gonna just kind of pick one of the emails in here, and then we're gonna next, and we'll see how the scheduling sort of works. Okay, we don't have any subscriber. So let's just save draft right here. We're going to add a contact. Okay, I'm just going to put my email in there. Subscribed. Test. Save. Alright, so we're going to go back to campaigns, and then I believe this is the one. So we're going to go in there and start sending, right? So we have one recipient, so we can then send now or schedule. So this is why I feel that this the sequence option is a very good one to use, because then everything will go out very nicely. So I guess that is all I have to share. Maybe let's check out the settings for a bit, so I can put in all the information in here. My email settings, okay. Double opt-in settings, if you want to turn that on. General settings, let's check that out. Okay, so one thing cool is that they do have OpenAI integrated, so it's gonna save you a lot of time. So this is your general settings and also your preference page, right? So you can have a preference page where people can choose to opt in to certain lists, or whatever, right? Unsubscribe and all that. Next will be the WooCommerce settings. Okay, so what happens is that whenever people purchase something, you can automatically add them into a list here, and then you can create additional custom fields, right? Compliance and webhook. Okay, so you can set up your webhooks right here, and of course your OpenAI key to generate content, AI content into your email sequence right here. Okay, so that's all I have to share about Mailmate. Overall, I think that this is very promising. It's definitely, there are some features that they do need to add, such as better targeting with the forms, and also I don't have any issues with the email designer at all. So I would say that they do need to add incoming webhooks as well. So with incoming webhooks, I can automatically add them to a list, and then be able to so what I can see right now with Mailmin is that you probably have to use their form itself, or you gotta add the context into the list manually, right? So if there's incoming webhooks, that could be done automatically if you're using a different form solution. Okay, so that's all I have to share about Mailme. I think overall this is a great tool. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Let me know what you think about Mailmin, all right, in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, do give me a thumbs up. And if you know anyone who could benefit from Mailmin, right, they want to save money, especially sending out emails, because when you pay for Klaviyo, you're paying like $20-30 for a small number of emails and subscribers. With Mailmin, you are using a external SMTP, right? So you could use for example Postmark, or Amazon SES, right? Things like SMTP relays like that helps you to save a lot of money, because you only pay for what you use, right? And the emails, the cost of the emails is very affordable, I would say. So I guess that's all I have to share about Mailmin. If you know anyone who could benefit from Mailmin, be sure to share this video with them. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.